Start off, there you go. Right, so, yeah, normally I get introduced Sophie Sweatman. My surname is spelt Sweatman. And that's because, like, anyone with a surname, any man, the first half of your surname is your superpower. It comes from thousands of years ago. And my superpower was to sweat. So when my ancient ancestors, then when I watched Meet the Izzards, my ancient ancestors, during the mini ice age, were hunter-gatherers, and sweat would keep you warm, obviously, but when you're faced with the saber-toothed tiger, just let off some body odour, and it will send him scarfering. But, you know, nowadays, sweat is just to get myself out of sticky situations, so if I look a bit nervous, I'm just flexing my superpower. Yeah, so I'm a bit hard of hearing, and the good thing about being hard of hearing, when you do stand-up comedy, is I can't hear you when you're not laughing. Yeah, so yeah. The thing about hearing aids, right, is they put the microphone on the back of your ear. So if you want to talk behind my back, you've got to say it to my face. And my hand ain't listening. But actually, what's really dangerous is like when you cut out background noise, and when you're trying to cross the road, there's a lorry beeping trying to come out of a passageway, and you just jump into the road, straight into the path of a passing car, and that's known as ear-deaf experience. And just to say more about that, right, if you're stone deaf, you're deaf with a big D. If you're quite deaf, you're deaf with a small d. But if you're only slightly deaf, like me, then you're deaf without a d, so I'm just effing F. And the other thing about being hard of hearing is, before I had a hearing aid, it took me a long time to learn not to talk around the houses. So I eventually learned to talk through the houses, and got a job as an estate agent. Right, so anyway, right, next week I'm doing Red Nose Day in Truro. What's going on? The office nightclub, 7:30 p.m, £10 door. Anyway, so I always say charity starts at home. So I've decided to get myself a home gym. Because I keep giving £30 a month to gyms that I don't use. So I get myself a home gym. And it's a bit like when you go to, you see a chugger on the high street, and then you start giving £3 a month, and then you're giving £3 a month to a chugger that you don't use. So have a chat in the little high street, make it look like you know a few local people. But anyway, now I've got a gym at home, I can save £30 a month, because I don't even have to leave my home not to go to the gym. Okay, still working on that one. Anyway, yeah, right, I've got a special correspondence coming up in a bit, but I'm just going to say a little bit. Oh no, I can't say that now because it'll spoil the other bit. Right, right, so what's amazing is nowadays, with all this stuff about Jimmy Savile and everything like that, you couldn't get away with a genuine mistake. I made a genuine mistake in the 80s. I was 17 years old, and can't hear me, I'm not laughing. Yeah, I was sent by a friend to pick up a friend of his called George, who was 14 or 15. From this road in Fulham, to take him to deepest, darkest side for a party. And I see a young guy on the side of the road, and I stop and I say, "Are you George?" Lock the doors. Right, anyway. So this guy goes, "Yeah, I'm George." So I said, "Well, I was sent to pick you up. Are you waiting to be collected?" He said, "Yeah, I am." So I said, "Okay, hop in." He ran a bit baffled, and he jumps in my car. And this old man comes out and he goes, "What are you doing? That's my son." But after that, I went round the corner and I found that the proper George I was meant to pick up, 14 or 15, It's actually this tall, lanky guy sitting on the pavement smoking a cigarette. Couldn't get away with that these days. Right, okay, if women are looking at how to avoid harassment in the workplace, don't look to your top women in Westminster. People like Bridget Harris. She's like basically saying like, about when Lord Bennett was touching her up, touching her knee rather, and she was just saying like all about, I'm a professional person. It's like, professional person, what's that? I mean, what do you sort of like whiten your teeth and floss and charge yourself £300 a pop? Or do you use salon-only hair materials and give yourself a Tony Guy every time? I mean, these are all just advertising gimmicks, you know, or, you know, just do that like business like click in the microwave. Talking of clicks, do you remember a time not a while ago where it was really fashionable at the end of the sentence ending in a K for people to give it a big, like they're saying like, oh, you know what I did? You know, because it was the end of the week. Do you know what I'm talking about here? And it's just like they do a little wag of the head, like saying, I'm being really matter of fact. Right, anyway.
I don't know
yeah.
what that is.
Okay, right, so...
When facts matter, like, you know, like not Christianity.
Okay, shut up, Mum. Right, so anyway... anyway, I hate being called Madam, but I tell you what, if you call me Sir, I will call you an ambulance.
That's a joke.
Right, anyway. There are people who are paid to do their job, but if they actually did it, then they wouldn't be needed. Right, okay. Stella Artois has started like advertising their new cider as Cidra. When I was at college in France and you asked for a Cidra, they said that actually meant AIDS. That's very true. MPs have been criticised. Not enough, but they have. Right, you don't need a university degree to get into debt, but it helps. Well, right, okay. The government have launched plans to privatise the days of the week. Mondays have been cancelled due to lack of interest. Tuesdays are back. Come on down. And Saturdays are being advertised by a new suite by Roundtrees called Roundle. So Saturdays will now be called Saturandledy. And lastly, I have missed out some good jokes here, but yeah, it's all working progress. Yeah, so anyway, the government are taking steps to bring back the Ministry of City Walks. So they're putting funding into the coastal path on the Isles of Scilly. Thank you very much.